Hello. Testing. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to those who are here in person, and welcome to those who are tuning in for this official City of Bellevue flag raising to kick off Pride Month for 2022. I would like to start by thanking the dedicated staff here at Fire Station 3. Thank you for hosting the flag raising ceremony today, and most importantly, thank you for every day for the support and service that you give to our community. We give you a heartfelt thank you. I would also like to thank our city staff and community partners who are here with us. They are key pieces of supporting our community members and Bellevue in our region. We also are grateful to have city leaders here today, including Fire Chief Jay Hagan and Police Chief Wendell Shirley. Would you two guys step out, please? Chief Hagan and Chief Shirley, thank you very much. We thank both of you for the service that you render every day and keeping the city of Bellevue safe. We feel better going to sleep at night knowing that the two of you are on board. So thank you. We are pleased to have several leaders here today joining us. We have our own mayor, Mayor Lynn Robinson, and also, first of all, a little bit about Lynn Robinson. Lynn has spent most of her life dedicated to champion equity and strong leadership for everyone. And for that, we appreciate you as our mayor. So thank you very much. At this time, I would like to invite Lynn Robinson to come up. Thank you, Mayor Robinson.
Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce my fellow council members, Councilmember John Stokes and Janice Son. Come stand here with me because this message is from the entire council. Oh, Councilmember Barksdale, that was you on the motorcycle. You know, we're just thrilled to be here today in celebration of Pride Month. And I want to thank all of you for coming out. And I say that intentionally because even though 8% of our community identifies publicly as part of the LGBTQ plus community, a lot of people are afraid to come out in public. So thank you for being here. Bellevue embraces and celebrates diversity, but we know that nationally there are vast social, cultural, and legal inequities. I'm proud of Bellevue's Diversity Advantage Initiative, which is committed to creating a welcoming, inclusive, and equitable environment for all LGBTQ plus individuals who live, work, and play in Bellevue. Yet I'm reminded that for many of those community members, they face disproportionate instances of violence, hate, discrimination, homelessness, and mental health struggles. I celebrated with Bellevue College last week as we did the ribbon cutting for a new rainbow crosswalk. It took 5 years to go from chalk to pavement. And last month in Arlington, Virginia, our Bellevue Downtown Association's one of the highlights of the trip was visiting Freddie's Gay Bar, where straights are welcome. You know, it was a very accurate reflection of a culture centered on love and inclusion for all, so we vowed to bring a Freddie's to Bellevue. I want to thank our city manager, Brad Miyake, for raising the first Pride flag 5 years ago, and I know today you're introducing a new design. Thank you again for being here in support of our LGBTQ plus community. Bellevue welcomes the world, our diversity is our strength, and hate has no home here. Thank you.
And we mean it.
And we mean it. Dr. Whitehead, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Robinson. Thank you, council members, for joining us. Thank you, Council Member Barksdale, for making certain we were all awake. Once again, I would like to give a heartfelt thank you to our mayor. Mayor Robinson, we truly appreciate your dedication and your commitment to the City of Bellevue. You make Bellevue a place where people are happy to say that they live in this city, and it's a place where people would like to visit. So thank you very much for your leadership. And at this time, I would like to introduce our own city manager. Not anyone else's, our city manager. I would like to introduce to you Brad Miyake. Brad is the city manager for the City of Bellevue, and as the mayor just stated, he has been a person who has championed the whole flag raising for many years, and not just the raising of the flag, but for the body of people. He recognized the people for whom they are, people who are here to commit and be a part of making Bellevue strong. So with that, I would like to introduce our own city manager.
Thank you, Dr. Whitehead. Can I ask the leadership team to join me up here? Diane, Andrew. So thank you, everybody, and thank you for being here today. This is a really important celebration in terms of today what we're going to do here. It has become a tradition for the City of Bellevue to raise the flag and do this in partnership with LGBTQ plus community to celebrate diversity and equity within the city. Today, I was going to mention that the mayor mentioned that it's a different design of the flag that you haven't seen before. What you will see are, in addition to the regular colors, brown and black, which represents LGBTQ plus communities of color. It will also include, I have to look at this, I believe it's blue, pink, and white stripes to represent our transgender community here as well. This design was created back in 2018 to represent more the times that we live in right now. And it is our new pride flag, and so you're going to see that in a few moments. As you know, we have been doing this for 5 years now. And as a city manager, and along with the city council, this has been a huge priority for us. Oh, got to wait for the fire engine here. So it has been very proud of the events that we've had, not in addition to raising the flag. It's been a lot of the community events that we've had to really promote diversity and equity within our city. I'm so proud of all those events, and I'm proud of the staff, including our Diversity Advantage program staff, our ERG group, our diversity liaisons, and all the staff at the city who have stood by us all to promote the LGBTQ plus community. So I just again want to just say thank you to all of you who attended today, and with that I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Whitehead.
Thank you, City Manager Miyake. You know, our city is very fortunate to also have Brad as our city manager. Brad is a true champion for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And for that, we appreciate him greatly, because it's not just a body of work for him, it is his true mission in life to make certain that all are being served and served properly, equally, and all is included. So thank you again. We appreciate you greatly. Well, it is my pleasure at this time to introduce a community member. We are very fortunate to have Sepin Parat to be here with us today. He is representing himself and the fact that he is a wonderful friend to the City of Bellevue. I personally first met him serving on BDAN, Bellevue Diversity Network Advisory Committee. And I found him to be just a wonderful person, very smart, very bright, and very witty. And today, as we thought of partnering with a community member, he was definitely the very first person who came to mind. We're here today because he understands also the barriers of being treated poorly, just because he show up as himself. Seppin is in the LGBTQ community. He is a person who has worked so many hours. He has given of himself to find opportunities and solutions to change lives positively and impact our community. It is my pleasure at this time to introduce my friend Seppin. Please come on up.
I've never used one of these before, so I tend to really project, and I apologize to everybody on YouTube who's hearing me really loudly right now. Dear Honorable Mayor Robinson and distinguished council members, City Manager Miyake, Chiefs Shirley and Hagan, to all of the staff here at the City of Bellevue, and to the residents of Bellevue, thank you so much for inviting me, and Linda, thank you so much for inviting me to help raise the Progress Pride flag for the city today, the first day of Pride Month 2022, and 5 years after the first Pride flag was raised in the City of Bellevue. That is incredible, and I'm very grateful to be here. First of all, never did I think that I would be living in the same city I grew up in. I've lived all over the world and never realized I would come back here. And I never thought that I would be asked to help raise a pride flag as the representative of this very diverse city. And it's really a huge honor, and I'm again grateful. So I grew up in Bellevue in the 80s and 90s. And as more Indians moved in, thank you, Microsoft, we appreciated that the city was changing to look more and more like us. As I got older, though, I changed in a way that was not reflected on the East Side. A piece of my identity, an important one, stayed a secret from my closest friends and definitely from my family. It was hard to grow up in a community focused on cultural traditions, upward mobility, and bringing in a daughter-in-law, when a key aspect of who I was set me apart from that community. And living in Bellevue, there wasn't an outlet to express or even acknowledge this identity in a way that felt safe. I grew up in a bubble with expectations defined by my immigrant community and, in some senses, by the city in which I lived. Without visible, accessible support for a brown kid like me here, I felt trapped, looking longingly at the progressive city across the lake for a place that could possibly accept the side of me I worked so hard to hide. 30 years on, things are different. Mostly gone are the insulting stereotypes on television, the term alternative lifestyle, the idea that we're just confused. We have partners, spouses, children, fur babies, families. Seeing a gay couple walk down the street hand in hand has less power to be either disgusting or, oh, so cute. It's actually pretty unremarkable now. More locally, as I said, and as we've already heard, the City of Bellevue has flown the pride flag, and the police department convenes an LGBTQ advisory group to help in its work. Bellevue College hosted a Pride Festival, the largest outside Seattle, in 2019. And as Mayor Robinson said, we dedicated the first of 3 rainbow crosswalks outside of Seattle just a couple of weeks ago. Gay-straight alliances, or their equivalents, exist in middle and high schools across the East Side. I honestly never would have imagined groups like that when I was in school. Local organizations and agencies like Youth Eastside Services, Friends of Youth, First United Methodist, Temple to Hirsch Sinai, East Shore Unitarian, Eastside Pride, P-Flag, Bellevue Eastside, and so many more devote resources to addressing mental health, housing, and our sense of community and belonging. I've also seen some incredible changes within our South Asian communities here. The India Association of Western Washington, now Indian American Community Services, has held open forums to reduce the stigma and build acceptance from within the community. The Sphere showcases South Asian queer cinema, thus making more mainstream many different perspectives of ways of being. I have even introduced my husband to older uncles and aunties during Navratri and Diwali celebrations. We can even hold hands in one of the 100 Indian grocery stores here and feel perfectly safe and welcome. So we really have come far in 30 years. Not quite there yet, though. You were mentioning, convince a gay bar or club to come to Bellevue, and then we'll talk about how far we've come. Nevertheless, the raising of the flag really does represent our progress, one that we should be proud of. We thank Daniel Quasar for their powerful, powerful design, which also calls attention to our marginalized Black, Brown, Indigenous, transgender family, and highlights the intersections within this, our broad queer community. Okay, but this flag also shows us that the work is far from over, that the fight must continue. Just because we live in a city or state that professes equality and legalizes tolerance, it hurts the queer community and hence everyone to know that we are pushed down by people who would rather disregard us than listen to us, by people who want to choose for us rather than walk alongside us, by people who say you are not the right you because you do not look, act, love, be how I want. I think about that single Latina mother who must make the terrible choice between losing a necessary paycheck and leaving her state so her child can get life-saving, gender-affirming care. I think about that gay kid cast out onto the street by parents who would rather follow tradition than act with love. I think about that Black trans woman whose life is in danger every time she steps outside or goes on a date. I think about that girl forced to use the men's bathroom because of a single letter on her birth certificate. Look, Pride is about celebrating the incredible progress we've made over the past 50 years, but it is also about showing up in solidarity for those in the queer community and across all marginalized communities. Pride is not only about celebrations on parade floats, sponsored by companies trying to showcase support for a community through their money. Pride is not only about cities raising the Progress Pride flag, an appreciated but ultimately superficial gesture if not backed by action. No, Pride is about being proud of who we are in the face of governments, religions, ethnic groups, and others that say that we are incorrectly human. Pride is about knowing that we are not equal until we are all equal, including those most targeted, transgender and non-binary youth, those in the intersection of race, disability, neurodiversity, and poverty, our vanished Indigenous and Two-Spirit siblings, sex workers trying to survive when our biases and economies reject them. Pride is about you, those with privilege and power, our straight, cisgender neighbors and leaders taking a stand to move beyond how we used to think and how we used to do things. It's taking a stand to put actions behind our words, to act until the most harmed or left behind are lifted up, and to stop making excuses that lay blame at their feet. I am grateful that I live here. I am grateful that the East Side of now is openly expressing support for our LGBTQ+ community, and that our leaders are leading. And I truly hope that if you are a queer or transgender Indian growing up here now, that you feel, you no longer feel the need to look longingly at Seattle, that you can find your safety and community here. To the leaders here and across the East Side, I ask that you don't stop after these speeches, that you don't rely on a flag. Let's be an example for the country of what it means for our cities and our governments to truly value all their residents, no matter who they are, what they look like, or who they love. We raise a pride flag today to symbolize us all moving up together. So let's get to work and make that happen. Once again, I truly appreciate the opportunity to share my perspective today. I really hope that future spaces like this invite voices of those who are far more marginalized than I am. Thank you again for this honor, and happy Pride.
Thank you, Suppan. And once again, can we give him a round of applause? I'm certain you now know why we invited him. He was our first choice As the DEI team met, we said Seppin is the person. But I would also like to take this time before we have the actual raising of the flag to once again thank the leadership of Bellevue. I would like to thank our mayor, our city council members, our city manager, leadership team, and all staff members. Thank you for the work that you do. Mayor Robinson, city council members, you model for our city manager the type of leadership and the direction that you would like for the city of Bellevue to flow in. And our city manager is doing a wonderful job of lifting up the values that you bring. And I would like to say to you, Seppin, I've lived here since 1987. Bellevue welcomes the world. And that's the slogan, that's our vision, that's everything. But I would like to add one word, and that is people belong to Bellevue. You're not a visitor, you're not a guest. You are a member of the family. So leadership, we thank you for modeling that. Thank you. Now, with that, I think you've been sufficiently inspired for the day. If not, this has been recorded. I suggest you listen to it again. At this time, I would like to welcome the Honor Guard to come up and raise the Progress flag. Once again, thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Mayor Robinson. Thank you, City Council members. Thank you, City Manager Miyake. Thank you, Fire Chief Hagan and Chief Shirley. Thank you all for joining us today for this special raising of the flag. I hope you all enjoy the remainder of Pride Month and have a good day. Thank you.
We're gonna pull the fire truck into this open space here. We could use it as a backdrop. You want to get a group picture of everybody?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Chief Hagan is offering the fire truck one of the is it engine? Is that what
Aerial ladder.
aerial ladder so we can have a picture taken. Thank you.